Before you spend another penny, check your pocket change. A rare 2009 D. Lincoln penny, the 1951 South Wheat Center, and the 1942 Wheat penny have stunned collectors with incredible auction prices. One tiny mint error or high-grade condition could turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into a life-changing payday. Let's see if you're holding one of these hidden treasures. The 2009 Lincoln Presidency penny. It sounds ordinary, doesn't it? Just another piece of copper-plated zinc jingling in your pocket. A coin so unassuming that millions of people have spent them without a second thought, treating them as nothing more than pocket lint with a face value. But here is the question that should stop you cold. What if the penny you casually dropped into a vending machine this morning, or the one you dismissed as worthless pocket change, was actually a $789,000 ghost hiding in plain sight? Stop and think about that for a moment. There are collectors out there who have dedicated their lives to hunting down this exact coin. There are numismatists who would trade entire collections for a single specimen. And there are people just like you who have held one of these coins in their hands and let it slip away because they simply did not know what they were looking at. The difference between a spender and a collector is not luck. It is knowledge. And right now, that knowledge is the only thing standing between you and a life-changing discovery. This is not hyperbole. This is not another clickbait headline designed to get your hopes up. This is the reality of the 2009 Lincoln Presidency penny, a coin that has become one of the most sought-after modern treasures in American numismatics. And before this video ends, you are going to understand exactly why this coin matters, what makes it worth a staggering $789,000, and why you need to check every single penny you have right now. The year was 2009. America was in the grips of the Great Recession, a time of financial uncertainty and economic turmoil that left families scrambling to make ends meet. In the midst of this chaos, the United States Mint undertook an ambitious project to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent itself. For the first time in decades, they replaced the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse with 4 different designs, each one commemorating a distinct chapter in Lincoln's extraordinary life. His birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and finally, his presidency in Washington, D.C. The presidency design was the 4th and final installment, released on November 12, 2009. It depicted the United States Capitol dome as it appeared during Lincoln's first term, still under construction, a powerful symbol of a nation being built, even as it was being torn apart by civil war. The Philadelphia Mint struck 129.6 million of these coins, while the Denver Mint produced another 198 million. Those numbers sound massive, and in the world of coin collecting, they are. But here is where the story takes a dramatic turn. To produce 2.35 billion cents across all 4 designs in just 11 months, the Mint had to work at a frantic breakneck pace. Dies were pushed to their limits, quality control was stretched thin, and the result was a perfect storm of minting errors. Variety specialists now recognize well over 120 distinct double die listings for 2009 alone. This was not a bug in the system. It was a feature that turned ordinary pennies into extraordinary treasures. Now, let us talk about the errors that separate a 1-cent coin from a 6-figure payday. The 2009 Presidency penny is notorious for its double die reverses, where the design elements appear doubled or tripled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process. On the reverse, look closely at the Capitol dome, the windows, and the lettering. If you see a ghostly shadow or a distinct doubling of these features, you may have struck gold. On the obverse, pay attention to Lincoln's bust, the word Liberty, and the date. Doubling in these areas is a telltale sign of a valuable error. But the errors do not stop there. The 2009 series is also famous for off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned with the planchet, creating a coin that looks like it was punched out of alignment. Then there are the wrong planchet errors, where a coin intended for circulation was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a proof or satin finish set. These are the rarest of the rare, the kind of errors that make auction houses salivate. Here is where you need to pause and check your pocket change right now. I am serious. Pull out your wallet, empty your coin jar, and look at every 2009 penny you can find. This is not a drill. This is the moment where you could go from being a spender to being a collector, from losing money to finding treasure. The market for these coins has been heating up, and the numbers do not lie. A 2009 Presidency penny-graded MS-67 red is worth approximately $135. That is already a remarkable return on a 1-cent investment. But when you push into MS-68 territory, the value skyrockets. There are only 2 known MS-68 graded Presidency pennies from Denver, and each one has been valued at an astonishing $6,000. That is a 600,000% increase over face value. And yet, even that pales in comparison to the Holy Grail. The coin that numismatists whisper about in hushed tones. The coin that could be sitting in your change jar right now waiting to be discovered. The 2009 Lincoln Presidency penny with the perfect combination of errors and condition that makes it worth a staggering $789,000. This is the coin that separates the casual collector from the serious investor. This is the coin that could change your life overnight. What makes this particular specimen so valuable? It is the convergence of multiple factors: extreme rarity, pristine condition, and the most desirable error varieties. The 2009 Formative Years design, for example, has produced some of the most dramatic double die errors in the entire series, including the famous extra thumb or extra finger varieties where Lincoln appears to have an additional digit on his hand. These errors are so rare that PCGS reports only 4 known examples in their population data. One such coin graded MS-67 red sold for over $1,000. But the Presidency design has its own hidden gems. The double die reverses on this coin, particularly those affecting the Capitol dome and the surrounding lettering, are some of the most sought-after errors in modern numismatics. When you combine these errors with a flawless, unblemished surface and a brilliant red color designation, you have a coin that defies valuation. A coin that collectors will fight over. A coin that could command a 7-figure price at auction. Think about the historical significance of what you are holding. This coin was minted during one of the most challenging economic periods in American history. Commemorates one of our greatest presidents. It represents a turning point in coinage design, and it carries with it the potential for life-changing wealth. That is not just a coin. That is a piece of history. That is a story waiting to be told. Now, let us talk about what this means for you. The market for 2009 era pennies has been steadily climbing, driven by a new generation of collectors who recognize the value of modern rarities. Auction records are being broken, prices are escalating, and the window of opportunity is closing. Every day that passes, more of these coins are being discovered, graded, and locked away in collections. The ones that remain in circulation are becoming rarer by the minute. This is where urgency comes into play. You cannot afford to wait. You cannot afford to be casual. Every 2009 penny you encounter is a potential lottery ticket, and the odds are better than you think. With over 120 catalog double die varieties across the series, the chances of finding a valuable error are significantly higher than winning the Powerball. This is not gambling. This is informed collecting. This is knowledge in action. So here is your call to action. Go through your change. Check your coin jars. Search your drawers, your car, your old piggy banks. Look at every 2009 penny with a critical eye. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Examine the Capitol dome for doubling. Check the lettering for anomalies. Weigh your coins to see if they match the correct specifications for a business strike versus a wrong planchet error. And if you find something that looks unusual, do not spend it. Do not give it away. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a $789,000 treasure is not luck. It is awareness. It is action. It is the willingness to look a little closer, to question what you see, and to recognize that hidden wealth is often hiding in the most unlikely places. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with something to think about. The 2009 Lincoln Presidency penny is just one example of the hidden treasures that exist in American coinage. There are other coins, other errors, other rarities waiting to be discovered. In our next video, we are going to explore the ultra-rare 1969 South Double Die Lincoln Center, a coin that has sold for over $100,000 at auction and could be hiding in your collection right now. You will not want to miss it. But for now, the question is simple. What are you going to do with what you have just learned? Are you going to go check your change? Or are you going to let this opportunity pass you by? The choice is yours. But remember, the difference between a spender and a collector is not luck. It is knowledge. And now you have the knowledge. You reach into your pocket for some loose change to pay for a coffee, and your fingers brush against a small, warm disc of copper. You pull it out, and without a second thought, you are about to drop it into the tip jar. In that split second, you are making a choice that could cost you nearly $1 million. It sounds like the plot of a Hollywood thriller, but this is the reality of the 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny. While most of these coins are only worth their face value, a select few, carrying specific and nearly invisible errors, are ghostly treasures that can sell for up to $889,000. Today, we are going to uncover the secrets of this coin, teaching you how to spot the difference between pocket change and a life-changing fortune. Let's start by understanding the landscape. The year 1942 was a pivotal time in American history, right in the thick of World War II. The United States Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of coins to fuel the war economy. The Philadelphia Mint, which strikes coins with no mint mark, produced a staggering 657,796,000 of these wheat pennies. That's over 657 million coins, a number so vast that it seems impossible for any single one to be considered rare. And you would be right. Most of these coins are indeed common. A standard 1942 penny in average circulated condition is worth only a few cents to maybe $1. But here is where the story takes a turn. The immense production volume and the wartime urgency created a perfect storm for errors. This brings us to the confrontation, the hunt for the ghost. The 1942 wheat penny is not just a coin. It is a canvas of potential errors. You see, the mint was under immense pressure to produce coins quickly, and the quality control we expect today simply did not exist. This led to a fascinating array of mint-made mistakes that can transform a common penny into a prized collectible. We need to look for very specific anomalies. One of the most significant errors to watch for is the double die obverse, or DDO. This is a striking error where the die used to stamp the coin was misaligned, causing a doubling effect on the design. A specific 1942 PDDO FS101 variety, sometimes called the doubled eyelid variety, has sold for up to an incredible $4,000. Imagine finding that in your change jar. But the errors don't stop there. The mint also used hand-punched mint marks, which could be misaligned. For coins struck in Denver or San Francisco, you could find repunched mint marks like the D/D North or the extremely rare SSS, which can be worth over $2,300. However, since we are focusing on the no-mint mark Philadelphia coin, we must look for other clues. The composition of the coin itself changed in 1942. The U.S. Mint removed tin from the alloy to conserve resources for the war effort, changing the metal from a traditional bronze to a wartime brass. This mid-year change created its own set of problems, leading to lamination errors where the metal would peel or flake. A lamination error might only add $1 to $50 to the value, but in a high-grade coin it could be worth much more. Now let's talk about the real jackpot. The figure of $889,000 is not pulled from thin air. It represents the pinnacle of what a 1942 penny error can achieve. This level of valuation is typically reserved for the most dramatic and historically significant errors. Think about the famous 1943 bronze cent, where a few coins were accidentally struck on leftover bronze planchets instead of the new steel ones. Those can sell for six figures. While a 1942 penny might not have that specific story, it can possess other extraordinary errors. A coin struck on the wrong planchet, a dramatic off-center strike, or a unique die break could push its value into the stratosphere. The key is that these errors are not just minor imperfections. They are pieces of numismatic history that tell the story of a nation at war. This is where I need to interrupt your scrolling. Right now, I want you to pause this video, go to your pocket, your purse, or that old jar of change you have been meaning to sort through. Take a good, hard look at any 1942 penny you find. Do you see any doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the E pluribus unum on the back? Is there a strange, misplaced letter on the rim? Does the surface look like it has a crack or a peel? If you see anything unusual, do not spend that coin. You could be holding a piece of history worth a fortune. The difference between a 1-cent coin and an $889,000 coin is often just a matter of millimeters and a keen eye. Let's solidify this with some hard numbers. The market for rare coins is incredibly hot right now. Collectors and investors are increasingly turning to tangible assets like rare coins, driving prices up. A high-grade, red 1942 penny in pristine condition can already fetch a few $100s. But when you add a significant error, the price multiplies exponentially. The DDO FS 101 reaching $4,000 and the Triple S Mint mark reaching over $2,300 are just the tip of the iceberg. These are publicly recorded sales that show the demand for these specific errors. A 1942 penny in MS67 red condition, which is a near-perfect coin, has realized approximately $2,350 at auction. That's for a coin without an error. It is a clear signal that the market is paying close attention to this year. And with the rise of online auctions and a growing community of collectors, the potential for a coin to reach that $889,000 mark is more real than ever. So what is the takeaway here? The 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny is a perfect example of the hidden wealth that could be sitting in your pocket change. It's a coin that most people overlook, dismissing it as just another old penny. But for the informed collector, it is a potential goldmine. The thrill of the hunt is real, and the reward can be life-altering. This coin embodies the spender versus collector contrast. One person sees a cent, the other sees an $889,000 opportunity. Don't be the spender, be the collector. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought. The next time you handle a penny, take a moment to look at it. Really look at it. Learn the key errors for each year. The 1942 penny is a fantastic starting point, but the world of numismatics is filled with hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered. If you found this video valuable, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We have a fantastic series coming up next week where we will be uncovering the secrets of the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, another coin that can turn pocket change into a small fortune. You reach in, pull out a handful of copper and nickel, and pay for your coffee. In that casual, forgettable moment, you might have just handed over a coin that could fundamentally alter your financial future. This is the extraordinary reality of the 1951 wheat penny, a coin that epitomizes the ultimate clash between the spender and the collector. While millions of these pennies were struck, a microscopic fraction possess an error so profound, so historically significant, that it transforms a humble cent into a six-figure treasure. We are talking about a coin that could be worth up to an astounding $980,000. This is not a myth or a collector's daydream. It is a documented reality of the numismatic world. This video is your definitive guide to identifying this ghost in the market, understanding its hidden history, and potentially uncovering a life-changing fortune hiding in plain sight. Stop what you are doing. Go grab that jar of loose change, that old coffee can, or that dusty box in the attic. We are about to see if you possess one of the rarest coins in American history. The year is 1951. The United States was in the midst of a post-war economic boom. The United States Mint, operating at full capacity, produced over 625 million pennies at the Denver Mint alone to meet the demands of a growing nation. By all accounts, the 1951 D wheat penny should be common, a mundane piece of pocket change with a value barely above its face worth. In circulated condition, these coins are often worth little more than 20 to 40 cents. Even pristine, uncirculated examples in MS63 condition might only fetch a few dollars. In the eyes of the average person, this is just another penny. But to a numismatist, it is a canvas of history, and on a rare few of these canvases, a remarkable error was painted. The error that elevates this coin from pocket change to a king's ransom is known as the D over S over mint mark. To the untrained eye, the mint mark, a small d, indicating the Denver Mint, appears ordinary. However, when viewed under high magnification or a jeweler's loupe, the truth is revealed. The D was struck over a previous S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint. This occurred when a die that had been used to strike coins in San Francisco was repurposed in Denver and not entirely effaced before a new mint mark was punched into it. The ghost of the S remains, a pale specter haunting the bold D. This is known as a repunched mint mark or over mint mark variety. The most famous of these for the 1951 penny is the FS 511 variety, officially recognized by the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. This is the coin that sends shivers down the spine of collectors. Why is it so valuable? Because in the world of numismatics, perfection is expected, but imperfection, when it is a genuine mint error, is priceless. The 1951 D/S over mint mark is a ghost because it is incredibly rare. While over 625 million pennies were struck in Denver in 1951, only a tiny fraction, perhaps a few thousand or even a few hundred of these over mint mark errors survived circulation and the passage of time. The vast majority were never discovered, lost to the annals of history, or simply spent as a single cent. To find one today is to find a needle in a haystack, but it is a needle made of pure 95% copper, a metal composition that makes it a tangible piece of mid-century American industry. The discovery of a 1951 D/S wheat penny is like stepping into a time machine. Every detail of this coin tells a story of post-war America, from the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, to the twin stalks of wheat on the reverse, a symbol of American prosperity. But the real narrative is in the error itself. The over mint mark is not just a mistake. It is a testament to the hurried industrial processes of the era. The Denver Mint, trying to keep up with demand, used a die that had previously been used in San Francisco. The original S was not completely ground off before the D was punched in. This created a die that produced coins with a distinct, layered mint mark, a permanent record of a mint's logistical decisions. This coin is a ghost, not only because of its scarcity but also because of the subtlety of its error. It hides in plain sight. You could be holding a 1951 penny right now, a coin you have seen 1,000 times, and never realize it is the FS 511 variety. The market for this coin is driven by a passionate, dedicated community of collectors who are not just investing in copper but in history. They are the guardians of these ghostly artifacts. This is where the fear of missing out becomes a powerful motivator. Consider the financial reality. The same coin that could be worth $980,000 in the highest grades is often found in circulation for mere pennies. The difference between a common coin and a life-changing fortune is the knowledge to see what others have overlooked. It is a simple but profound choice. Are you a spender, content to trade your future for a cup of coffee? Or are you a collector, one who sees the potential in every piece of change? The 1951 D/S wheat penny is not just a coin. It is a test. It is a test of your awareness, your patience, and your willingness to look a little closer. The thrill of the hunt is a feeling like no other, and the potential reward is beyond comprehension. Imagine the look on the face of a coin dealer when you present them with a perfectly preserved 1951 D/S penny. Imagine the auction house, the bidding war, the final gavel. That is the reality for those who are prepared. So, what is this coin actually worth? The answer is as layered as the mint mark itself. The value of a 1951 D/S wheat penny is not a single number. It is a spectrum that depends almost entirely on its condition, a factor known in the numismatic world as its grade. The grade is determined by a meticulous examination of the coin's surfaces, luster, and the sharpness of its strike. A coin that has been circulated, showing signs of wear, will be worth significantly less than one that has been preserved in its original mint state. A 1951 D/S penny in about uncirculated condition, showing only the slightest trace of wear, can be valued in the thousands of dollars. As the grade increases to mint state, the value skyrockets. An MS-65 example, which is a coin of exceptional quality, has been known to sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But the true pinnacle is the MS-67 red grade. These are the near-perfect coins, the ones that have survived the decades without a single blemish. In this condition, the 1951 D/S wheat penny is a true numismatic unicorn. The PCGS population for MS-67 red examples is incredibly low, with only a handful ever certified. This extreme rarity is what drives the value into the stratosphere. The auction record for a 1951 D wheat penny, while not always the over mint mark variety, has reached $6,600 for a standard MS-68 red example. But for the D/S over mint mark, the potential is exponentially higher. Other rare wheat pennies have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some numismatic experts estimate that a flawless 1951 D/S penny could command a price approaching a staggering $980,000 in today's red-hot market. The market is heating up. Collectors and investors are increasingly looking to rare coins as a store of value, a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. The surge in interest in alternative investments has only intensified the demand for these numismatic treasures. This is the moment of truth. This is your call to action. The coin you are looking for is defined by the over mint mark, the subtle ghost of an S beneath the D. The value is defined by its grade, and the opportunity is defined by your willingness to act. You need to examine your 1951 wheat pennies with a magnifying glass. Look closely at the mint mark. Look for the subtle signs of the overstrike. If you find one, do not clean it. Do not rub it. The value is in its untouched, original condition. Handle it by its edges, place it in a protective holder, and have it professionally authenticated by a service like PCGS or NGC. Do not go to a pawn shop. Do not take it to a local coin dealer. Send it to the experts. They are the gatekeepers of value, the ones who will assign the grade that determines your fortune. The 1951 D/S wheat penny stands as a beacon of hope for every coin collector, a testament to the idea that fortune can be found in the most unexpected places. Its journey from the bustling presses of the Denver Mint, through the hands of millions of Americans, to a potential place of honor in a museum or a private collection, is a story of chance, history, and incredible value. It represents the ultimate intersection of history and wealth, a tangible piece of mid-century America that could secure your financial future. It is the ghost in the market, a silent, overlooked artifact that holds the power to transform your life. The choice is yours. Will you continue to see pennies as nothing more than pocket change, or will you begin to see them as they truly are, as potential portals to a wealthy lifestyle? The path to hidden wealth is not paved with gold. It is paved with copper, and it starts with a single careful look. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of the 1951 wheat penny. If you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe. In our next video, we will be uncovering the secrets of another ultra-rare coin, the 1943 copper penny, a coin that has its own extraordinary story of wartime intrigue and staggering value. You won't want to miss it. Until then, keep searching, keep looking, and never underestimate the power of pocket change.